Hey, what's going on, everybody? You're tuned in to the Everything with Millennials podcast. This is, of course, the podcast where millennials talk about whatever they want. I'm Anthony Ellman, and I'm joined by my co-host, as always, Mick Martin. How's it going, Mick?
What?
How's it going?
Oh.
Everything copacetic on your end there?
Sure, Tony. Old techie Tony. Old science man Anthony.
No Marvel quips today from you? Usually get a nice quip there in the intro.
Hey, you've come to expect the quips, haven't you?
Yeah,
Too bad.
We get used to it. It's like Marvel movies. We got to get that nice quippiness, or we're not satisfied.
No quips today.
Or we end up feeling like we're in some sort of...
in the quipper. In the quiver?
We feel like we're in some sort of DC movie. What is this, the DC universe?
What? We watched Suicide Squad. Are we allowed to talk about that yet?
Yeah, we want to do it. Let's do.
We promised the people, Anthony, last time that the person who worked on Suicide Squad would be on the goddamn episode, Anthony, and then you were like, "No, the baby's sleeping. We cannot have it. He too loud."
Yeah, let's do it unspoilerly. Let's see everything that we can without spoiling the Suicide Squad movie, because I think maybe next week we'll do a full spoilery
one with our buddy. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
So what can you say about the Suicide Squad without ruining anything? Well, I can
it's
start off.
Fun. Starro's in it.
Oh yeah,
Does
it's
that
fun.
Ruin it?
No, I think most people knew. Some people didn't know that Starro was in it, but yeah, I think that was in some sort of trailer. We knew Starro was going to be what looked like kind of the big bad of the movie. But I can say I had fun with it. You know, it was a fun movie. It was better than the first one, right? But that was kind of a low bar a bit.
Yeah, it was better than the first one, but it's doing a lot worse. Like the first one did big numbers. It made a lot of money, and this one unfortunately is not, because I guess everybody's afraid that there's going to be COVID on the seats or something. So,
the box office numbers aren't great, but is there any movie in the theater that it's doing really well? I don't think so, right? They're all kind of a little bit lower.
I don't know. I don't think that the theaters are. I think that they're all having a bit of trouble right now. I don't think anybody's really packing the theaters full of people. I could be wrong, but from what I understand, there ain't a lot of people going to see the movies right now.
Because we were in a theater, right?
The regulations are different in different places in the world at different times, right?
Yeah, you could only fit like 100 people in that theater because we went to the VIP in Toronto. And usually at any given, like when it's fully packed, you're about 100, right? Because it's less than the regular movie theater, which holds like a couple hundred. So 100 people in that VIP. And then how many people were in that theater, would you say? 20?
I don't remember.
Yeah. When I looked around, there was maybe 20, because I remember seeing the seating chart, and you could see you could only pick the seats that were blue, and there was maybe like 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here. So like a maximum of 20. So that's kind of one of the reasons why movies are not doing so great right now. Well, at least up in Canada. I don't know. In the States, I think it's sort of similar kind of thing that we're seeing, right?
At least up in Canada.
So, well, back to the Suicide Squad. So Suicide Squad, who was like, what was like one of the standout things for you, or like favorite character? Because we had so many characters in it.
But Pete Davidson had a fun little run.
Yeah. Oh, Pete Davidson. Yeah. So Pete Davidson and Weasel. I wanted to see more of them.
That movie introduced me to Fuborg.
Oh, Flula Yeah, the German comedy YouTuber.
Flula He's awesome. He is that man. I've watched like all his YouTube videos and stuff like that now.
Oh,
he's
really?
What every American wishes a German was.
Yeah, so you didn't know who he was before, right? And then I kind of told you.
I had no idea.
I was like, Flula. So you went home and you watched all of Flulaborg's YouTube channel?
Yeah, I watched all his stuff, or like lots of it anyway. I watched a ton of his interviews with Conan O'Brien.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And he's just a hilarious individual. I wish they let him go off a little bit more in this movie.
Yeah, the problem was because there were so many characters, there wasn't a lot of breathing room to see like any one character really stretch their legs. Besides some of the people from like the first movie, like they didn't get to grow. Like the new characters that we saw in the Suicide Squad, they didn't get to grow like
If you put a camera on Fluborg for a whole goddamn movie, you will have a whole movie's worth of good stuff. Like you
Yeah,
can just leave your camera on him for 90 minutes plus, and he will
just
produce for
19.
you. No, 90, 90.
Oh, 90.
If
Okay.
two 90 plus minute movies in a row, this guy just in the quality of entertainment of him being him,
Wow.
interacting with the world around him, like
Borg
that's
seems like he got a new subscriber.
yeah, he sure did. That guy's a fucking beauty.
Yeah, so
Um,
you like Flula. I really did. Yeah, like you said, I really liked Pete Davidson and Weasel. They
mm,
were kind of awesome. The jokes
mhm.
that they had in the beginning and stuff. But yeah, that was great.
Yeah, that
Um,
stuff made me laugh. Well, I liked the way his arc ended. Um, what else? What else can we say without spoiling it?
how about Peter Capaldi as like the thinker?
Oh, I thought that he could have done more. I thought that he should have been way
Yeah, no,
more like.
for sure.
There's a compilation of his insults. I think it's exists somewhere on the
Yeah,
YouTubes,
is that just
and
him in
they
general,
are
like insulting
just.
people,
I think
or is
it's
him
him in a
in a
particular
character?
character. It's a particular
The
character, but
Doctor.
he is just unbelievably vulgar and perfect, and like the stuff that he says to people is
Yeah.
awesome. And I felt like this is an R-rated movie. You've got one of the kings of insults
Yeah,
in the
he's a
world.
great actor, but yeah, I feel like they didn't use him to his full potential in the movie as well. Yeah,
And they used him the way you might use any sort of actor, rather than using him to his strength, which I think is just deep cuts, deep personal
yeah.
insults.
Oh,
That's
so
that's what
you
it is.
basically wanted Peter Capaldi in whatever that character was that he did, where he was just ripping
Well,
everyone.
I mean, I feel like Mad Thinker with all the brain stuff, like the condescension, he would just play that condescension really well if you let him,
Yeah,
He
like he
could
would just
be
think of the best insults ever,
yeah.
right?
And he would have very little he's a supervillain. He
That
has
would
very
be
little
amazing.
patience for the lack of intelligence shown by the people around him,
They
right?
should have got a Marvel writer to write the Thinker's like quips. Like that would have been so
I'm
good.
I'm sure I'm sure they had quips and stuff like that for him. Like, who knows why they make decisions they make or why Final Cuts come out the way they do. I
Yeah,
don't know. It's hard to say.
we'll get the
But
James Gunn cut of the Suicide Squad 2.
no, I
It'll
think
be 5 hours long, and it'll
I'm
only
sure
be
James Gunn is
Weasel and
very
Pete
proud of the
Davidson.
cut he already produced. I don't think he.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
I'm just saying.
You can tell they let James Gunn do whatever he wanted with that movie.
Can you
Yeah,
really? Okay.
there's so many crazy things happen. It's like
With the
if a stu
starfish
yeah,
out the
that
sides
and just so
of
much
his
insanity that
wings.
all the other characters kind of did, and all the senseless killing and stuff. Yeah, that earned its rated R rating there.
Shoots all the things. Yeah, I like that. I thought that was fine.
Yeah. But it was pretty bottled, right? It was like a bottle, kind of everything happened in this one thing, right? So they didn't really expand out uh,
Oh
as much
yeah, that's
into the
right. Yeah,
universe and stuff.
they didn't like expand into the shared universe stuff, which I think is
It's smart in a
that
way
would actually be
because
great. Yeah, if DC
it,
moved into the more like self-contained stories, that might be a good way to do it. What's that? Sorry,
yeah.
say that again.
Oh, I lost my train of thought, but yeah, you have a good point there where they're like, but I think what they're probably kind of doing is they're waiting for Flashpoint, and then when Flashpoint comes, they'll fix everything, and everything will make sense again, or hopefully, and they kind of go that way, right? Kind of fixing everything. But until
I
then,
don't
everything seems to be pretty bottled.
I
Like
don't
even
think
Birds
it's
of Prey was bottled as
fixable.
well, right?
Unless the only way to fix everything is to bring Michael Keaton back and to just
Which they're
have
doing.
him. Yeah, so they're on the right path. You bring Michael Keaton back and you have him just do whatever he wants.
Yeah, that's gonna be friggin'
Um,
dynamite. Michael Keaton as Batman again. Oh yeah, that's gonna be amazing. That's one of
oh,
the things DC's doing
oh
right now that
yeah,
I'm
it's
super
gonna be
excited for.
good.
I'm waiting for Michael
I
Keaton to
am
come
pumped
back
for
as
that as
Batman,
well.
and then he's
I
got to
hope that he
say,
fights. I hope that he fights Tom Holland in a charity boxing match.
I hope they show like him as like Batman again. Like how he's like, but then he gives it up because he's old or whatever. But like in one last time where he's in the full suit and he's like fully battling some villains or whatever. That'd be awesome.
I will also be pumped for that if
And
that
then
goes
he has
down.
to say, "I'm Batman."
Yes, yeah, I'm sure he will.
He's got it.
I'm sure he will.
In
I'm
the
sure he
Michael
will. He
Keaton way
says
that
that.
he
He said
says it.
that in Spider-Man. He said he looked up at Tom Holland and said that.
In
Yeah, Michael
Spider-Man.
Keaton. Michael Keaton way. Yeah, he said it in Spider-Man as the Vulture. Apparently, he looked up at one point and was like, "Hey, kid, I'm Batman. Fuck you." So he should fight. He should fight Tom Holland in a charity boxing match. Also, Tom Holland should fight Harry Potter or what's his name, Daniel Radcliffe. Daniel Radcliffe and Tom Holland should fight for the honor of being Britain's #1 tabloid personality person type deal. I
Now
think
they each have
they
their
should have a.
thing.
Now I
Tom
know that's right, and those
Tom
things need to
Holland is the
collide
spoiler
and
man.
clash. Tom
Is it?
Holland was going to spoil all of Harry Potter's fans' dreams when he beats the shit out of Daniel Radcliffe in their charity boxing match. It should happen maybe in conjunction with like a Tyson Fury fight or a Anthony Joshua fight, and they should have a charity boxing match, and whoever wins wins, and it should be seriously violent, not to the death, but to the near death. Not maybe minimal punches in the face, obviously, but
Who do you think would win that?
I think Tom Holland would beat the shit out of him.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's younger and he's more agile. He's like Spider-Man. Daniel Radcliffe is kind of old now, right?
Daniel Radcliffe only ever had to wave a wand around, man.
Yeah,
And like Spider-Man, he has to swing through cities. That's what Tom Holland does.
yeah. He's more
And
acrobatic.
he's got it. They flip that kid everywhere, man. They just throw him in the air and he just goes and
Yeah,
flips
he did a
around.
lot. He did a lot of the like flips and stunts.
Yeah,
Like
Harry
he
Potter
does have a
never
stunt
rode a
man, but
fucking actual like magic broom. But um, yeah, Spider-Man, they swing him around them cities. They make him fight Josh Brolin and stuff. It's crazy what they do.
yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So yeah. So this week we're gonna actually talk about rivalries in pop culture. That's kind of our main topic this week on the show. We'll talk about
Mm-hmm.
some of the
Mm-hmm.
biggest ones from the '90s and even into today, and we'll give our opinions on both and see how many we argue about. but but first, before that, actually want to show everybody here. We actually launched our website, everythingwithmillennials.com. So I'll bring it up here. That's the website. So now we can actually, you can go here. You can see all the links that we've got. So you see us on
when
Spotify,
I'm
Apple Music, all that stuff is there. You can go and you can watch all the videos, all the audio episodes. You can actually go here if you want instead of listening to it in your podcast player. You can go here to the merch store, and you can even contact us if you want. You can give us a little shout out there. That's everythingwithmillennials.com. I just wanted to kind of show that before we start talking about everything.
man, when I'm homeless, it's gonna be like used to have a podcast, now it's done.
When you're homeless.
Brother, can you spare a dime?
All right,
Yeah,
so I
something.
guess I got a kind of you saw the list of stuff we're talking about today, but I guess let's start off here. Let's first rivalry. This actually started in I guess the 80s, 90s, that kind of thing, but it still goes on today, and people argue about this one: Coke versus Pepsi.
Right, right.
So
Pepsi, 3 cubes, and some Wisers is a very good whiskey drink. Um, Coca-Cola with JD. That'll do you 1 4 there, bud.
out of Coke and Pepsi, like which one do you prefer? What's your go-to if you're gonna pick? If both of these are on a table, what are you picking up?
Depends on my mood, man.
Are you one of those guys that like it doesn't matter or like it's
No, I
like
think there
you
is a
just said
difference.
like you just said like it's like the certain drinks that you're gonna make you reach for a different one. So you said you like was it Wisers and Pepsi or is it Coke and Wisers?
Wisers with Pepsi
Yeah.
and Coke with JD. Yeah, but JD I don't really drink anymore, so I guess I like Pepsi.
Oh, you're a Pepsi man. Okay, so this is gonna be good. We're gonna go through all these and we'll see which ones we kind of
I
argue
mean, I
about.
don't really drink that much.
I'm
Not nearly as much as I should.
I'm a Pepsi man myself, so I like Pepsi. It's got more of that. It is a bit sweeter, and okay. Do you know the only difference between Coke and Pepsi is only one ingredient, and it's citric acid. That's the only difference in Coke and Pepsi's recipes. Other than that, they're exactly the same.
What is
But
the citric acid that's added?
it's like it gives you like that like citrusy kind of
Oh, no,
taste.
but
That
which one has the citric acid
oh
that's
Pepsi,
added?
sorry, Pepsi's got
Pepsi
citric
has
acid,
citric acid.
so it makes it a little bit
Pepsi got
sweeter.
citric
It
acid.
makes it a little bit sweeter, and it's funny.
Makes it a little bit
Calorie
sweeter.
wise, uh, Coke has more calories but less sugar, and then Pepsi has a little more sugar but less calories.
Oh my.
And then the only
The
difference is that
science,
citric
the
acid.
numbers don't add up, my friend. I think you'd better go back to the lab.
But from people I've talked to, it seems like Coke is more popular. Do you find that?
Well, you talk to a lot of drug addicts, Anthony.
No, Coca-Cola from the Coca-Cola company.
Stand by my statement.
Yeah, now their recipes are pretty much exactly the same. But like originally Coke was made from like coca leaves and like cola nuts.
I'm
That's
pretty
what
sure
it
it's
was.
still got cocaine in it.
No.
I think it does, man.
And then Pepsi, this is where Pepsi got their name from, was originally like made with pepsin. So that's where they got the Pepsi name from.
Pepsin.
That's
Oh,
like the
Pepsi.
original recipe.
Sounds like petrol versus rocks. Like a Coke sounds like a rock to me. I don't know. It just sounds rocky. Whereas Pepsi sounds like petrol. Sounds like petroleum.
Do you remember when they used to do the Pepsi
madman.
challenge? Have you ever seen that?
Madman. Yeah, I remember that. And
They had
people
them
would be
like
like,
the
"Oh,
malls.
look, Pepsi better."
Yeah, and you know that it's mostly because things that are sweeter, they knew they could
Pepsi
win
better
this
there,
because they knew things that are sweeter will usually taste better. So if you drink two of them side by side, you'll go, "Oh, this one's sweeter. This one will taste a little bit nicer." And that's kind of how they did the Pepsi challenge.
Well, the Pepsi challenge, for whatever reason, I think if you picked the Coke side, they also gave you less presents. So it's like
Yeah.
if you pick the Coke one, if you pick the Pepsi one, they give you like a Rolex, and if you pick the Coke, they give you like another Coke, and you're like, wow, I think I'd rather have a Rolex.
I know a guy that he is like so against Pepsi. Like I remember back in the day, in like a long time ago, when we were like
Against
teenagers.
Pepsi.
Yeah, he just loves Coke. He did the Pepsi challenge, and then you're supposed to point out which one's Pepsi. He goes, "This one's Coke," and he's like, "This one's better." He's just like, so against Pepsi for whatever reason.
Wow.
I just
I was
remember
a
that
little bit like that as a kid when I was like, I like Nintendo. I don't like Genesis. I don't care. Genesis looks cooler. I like Nintendo, and that's how I rolled.
All right.
I was always all about the Nintendo and not the Genesis. For whatever reason, it's like it doesn't make any sense. You probably could have. If I enjoyed both, maybe I could have convinced my parents to buy me both. But I only ever wanted the one because I don't know, something about brand loyalty.
So I guess
bizarre.
I have that actually on the list
choices.
here. So Nintendo versus Sega, the battle over being cool. So like as you said, you like Nintendo better than Sega, right?
Yeah, I did as a kid. I did.
But
yeah,
is
I think
that
I
like
was...
because that's what you grew up with, or is it because like that's what you actually thought was cool? Like which one did you actually have? You had a Nintendo, right? Growing up, I had the regular Nintendo, right?
I had the regular Nintendo, yes.
Yeah,
And
but
I preferred it. Yeah.
I always thought Sega was cool though. Like whenever I go to my cousin's house, they had the Sega, like the Genesis, and I would play that. I'm like, this is so cool. It's like
They did
Sonic
seem
and
to
stuff.
have very cool stuff. Yes, I agree with that. I liked the Sega and I enjoyed playing it. Actually, it was like the cool other thing that somebody else had. It was never the thing that I had. And in terms of what I personally wanted, I liked my Nintendo. I was like, I have great games for this. This stuff is cool. I don't need or want anything else.
Yeah.
That was until Earthworm Jim came out. But then SNL or then SNES
Yeah.
happened, so I could get Earthworm Jim on SNES, and that was cool.
Yeah, I had the Nintendo, but I liked the Sega as well. But if I had to choose one, I would probably say like Nintendo as well, because Mario, man, Mario versus if you're gonna say Mario versus Sonic, I'd be like Mario all the way. Like Mario's had way more better games than like Sonic has, right?
Yeah, he has. I mean, Sonic. I don't know. Do you ever play Smash Brothers? You can make the two of them fight now.
Oh yeah.
And I think Sonic's a better character. I think he's like in a higher tier, although I'm not really sure. But yeah, they definitely can have fights, and after we're
That's
done
awesome.
talking, I may go play that. Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I like
Last week's was an hour, so this week I'm just gonna go play fucking Smash Bros. But anyway, no, 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 no. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, folks, fans. Are we live on Twitch again?
Yes, we are.
Damn it. Yeah, I better not say anything too
Yeah, if you
crazy.
didn't know, yeah, yeah. I'll let you know at the beginning of the episode this time. Yeah, we're live.
Hello, Twitch. How are we?
Mick sends his regards.
Are people, there's nobody watching, is there?
Oh yeah, there's lots of people watching. They're all in there going, "Hey, hey, look at
No,
me,
they're
shout me
not.
out."
Nobody cares, guys. Nobody cares. Nobody.
So here's
Nobody
a
knows the trouble.
rivalry that people hate
Go.
on people a lot for, and that's pineapple on pizza. So the rivalry is basically pineapple on pizza or no pineapple on pizza. And so I have this article. This is actually from what is this? The European Championship, and this is recent too. This guy had a sign. It was Greece versus like Italy, and then this Italian guy said, "Stop putting pineapple on pizza." He's got this sign because the origin of pineapple on pizza was actually a Greece guy, and a little bit to blame on Canada because it was a Greece man that moved to Canada, and then he kind of invented it, and it says here it was like a long time ago, 1934. So the guy that's um, the cause for pineapple on pizza is a guy named Sotirios Panapoulos. So he's this Greek guy, and he moved to Canada from Greece, and they started making like pineapple on pizzas, and this is where it kind of became a thing. And then
Huh.
yeah, so oh look at this,
In
and he had
Hamilton?
a restaurant in Chatham, Ontario, with his brothers
Chatham.
Elias. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this guy and he started
Damn.
becoming popular in the U.S. and then in Canada in like the early '60s, and then after that, it kind of like blew up that some people like pineapple on pizza.
So let me ask you something now.
Yeah.
Okay. I imagine first off, Sonic puts pineapple on his pizza. I think
all
I think we could.
Sonic drinks a Coke while eating pineapple on pizza. It's like all
That's
the
right.
worst things, right? To
No,
us or
Sonic.
you and me.
Sonic is an American. Sonic is 100% American. Mario is an Italian immigrant to Japan. So I doubt he would put pineapple on his pizza. Um,
Yeah, Italians are super against pineapple on pizza in general, I think.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think so, but I don't give a shit because I love it.
Do
So
you
suck a
like it?
fucking
You're a pineapple
ball.
on pizza guy?
Maybe can we edit that last little tirade out?
You can't
Yeah, I
edit this
am.
man is live.
I don't know. Well, edit what we can, and then I guess leave in
If you're
whatever.
watching it live or on Twitch, you're seeing everything.
Man, I love pineapple on pizza. If you got a problem with that, that's your problem.
Okay, I'm the
Okay,
opposite. This is the first
I
one
don't
we're
care.
disagreeing on. I'm not a pineapple on pizza guy. I'm a sweets guy, but I'm not a pineapple on pizza. I believe nothing sweet should be on a pizza unless it's one of those Pizza Hut like sweet pizzas. If it was one of those apple pizzas, you know, the cinnamon and the stuff on it, if you could throw pineapples on that, that'd be fine because it's sweet. But if I'm gonna eat pizza, I want it to be savory. But this is
There's a
coming from
no
a guy who's a sweets guy. Like I love cake, cookies, donuts,
there is a
everything.
no effects song called "You're Wrong," and this is a good time for it because you're wrong. You're just wrong. You're wrong. Sweets
Sorry, we
can
couldn't
go
get the
on.
license to
Sweets
play
can
that
go
song on the show.
on. Yeah, someday we will. And sweets can go on. Sweets can go on that stuff. You put pineapple on that. You put that. It's like they say you eat apple and cheese together too. That's a thing too. Take a bite of an apple and have a little bit of cheese afterwards. It's a French thing,
You could do that.
and it's because the citrus slices through the cheese and the grease and the fat that's in it, and it does something to your tongue, man. It does something to your tongue and to your body and to your
Yeah.
mind and your
You want to know
soul.
something that's like that I
And
found out recently? Did you know
big ol'
mustard
mustard.
on a marshmallow apparently tastes amazing. It's crazy because I've seen videos of people like
It's not
trying it.
comparable, man.
Yeah,
One
but
is
it's like
more.
it's two things you
Yeah,
don't think would
no,
go together, but apparently it
no,
does.
no. It does. People do think that it goes together. There's a war. There's a war with two legitimate sides. I happen to be on one side. You are illegitimating the pineapple on pizza side by equating us with the mustard
Us.
on
Do you represent the people that eat pineapple on
marshmallow
pizza?
side. Well, I'll tell you what. Whoever represents the marshmallow on mustard marshmallow mustard side can is
I've never
not
tried it,
necessarily
but I
welcome
will try
on the
anything once.
pizza pineapple side. Well, I might try it. I'm not saying I wouldn't try it.
I have both of those things downstairs.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to try it anytime goddamn soon. Maybe we'll make a bet on something. We'll make a bet on something, and then the loser has to try that
Okay,
grossness.
well, I'll try it anyway.
Uh,
Even if I win,
like
I'll
the
try
good
it
thing
with you.
about liking pineapple on pizza is I don't have to have pineapple on pizza.
Yeah.
I can take it or I
Yeah.
can leave it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
pizza is
great.
one of those things that I think is one of the most like diverse foods because you can put anything on it, right? Like you could put
I'll eat
chicken
a
on it.
slice of pizza. It's bread and cheese.
I know
You
it's
just
amazing.
you can add whatever pretty much. It's
Exactly.
fine.
Yeah.
Just make sure there's a lot of the bread and a lot of the cheese, and the rest of it is like.
Me too. I'm there. I'm right there with you. That's the thing that we can't agree on.
All right, we've come around. We've come around to find a way back to the beginning where it all began.
All right, let's move on to the next one. So the next one is kind of like a few things mixed together. So it's Android versus iOS and Mac versus PC. So myself, I use everything but an Android phone. So I have an iPhone, I use a Mac, I use a PC. Actually, I'm on the streaming is on a PC. So everything but Android. What about you?
The SPC won't let me be or let me be me, so let me see.
So a PC, but I know you use an iPhone because we talk over iMessage.
Yeah, I like my phone. I like Apple phones because I think Edward Snowden said they were okay or something one
Yeah.
time.
Is that
And
why you switched from BlackBerry?
that's correct.
I remember a long time ago. And
A long,
I'm
long
gonna
time
credit this
ago.
to why you use an iPhone now. So I remember a long time ago, Mick, he used to use strictly Blackberries, and I was an iPhone guy since like 2007 when the iPhones came out. And then I remember one day you were bad mouthing iPhones. You're like, this is what a lot of people say when they have Blackberries. Like nothing will beat a keyboard, right? You're like keyboard this, keyboard that, right? That was the hugest argument ever. And then I was like, all right, let's go. We'll have a typing contest. So we had to type whatever someone was saying, right?
Yeah, we
And
did
so
have
we
this typing
both did
contest,
it.
and I won it easily, and it was not even close.
No, I smoked you, and I wasn't even looking. So that's why I credit Mick now having an iPhone. So then he switched over. He came over to the light side.
Whatever, dog. What I
And
say is that I switched over because old
because Snowdy,
Eduardo Snowshoes said somebody wouldn't watch it as
Snowdy,
bad or
Snowdy
something.
swosh, shoes.
I don't know. Maybe it was you.
Yeah. No, yeah.
It
No, but
was long ago.
I just want to say I don't have anything against Androids. I love Android phones. They're awesome. Like, have you seen like the Samsung Galaxy Fold and the Z Fold? Those things are so cool. Like, it's a regular phone, and you like unfold it, and it becomes a tablet. It's so cool, and they look
That is
awesome.
pretty cool. It's
Yeah,
like a tricorder.
yeah, and like
Yeah, I
it's even
dig that.
more
I
like
dig
kind of
that.
like that is like they have another one. It's like it looks like a clamshell, you know, like the Razor, but it's a
Yeah.
foldable screen. The whole thing's a screen, and it just kind of closes like this when it's not in use. So it's like
Clamshell razor.
it's pretty
Ba da
cool.
ba ba.
So I still admire like all the Android phones and stuff, but iMessage really got me locked in,
I'm
and I'm
happy.
and I'm overall kind of a Mac user anyway. Hey, have you ever seen those Mac commercials from back in the day?
I
Oh,
like Mac, but I also like today's things. Yeah, the Mac commercials back in the day were like, add some
yeah.
color to your
No,
life.
these ones. So I'm
Oh,
talking about
these
the
ones.
ones
Oh,
here
I
with
remember
Justin
these now.
Long. So these are the
I'm a
original.
liberal and I'm a PC.
He was like, no, I'm a Mac, I'm a
No,
PC.
but
So
yeah, no, I use Mac and I'm
this is how
cool.
far
Isn't
like
it Mac
the
better?
rivalry goes since like the
Nerd.
80s or whatever. But these commercials are hilarious. So like the thing I want to show here is like they've got these commercials from like kind of back in the day
Nerd,
where they're
nerd,
kind
nerd,
of
nerd, nerd.
they're making their points back and forth, right? They're like, oh,
Yeah.
Mac, right? So now, more recently, this commercial. So Justin Long used to represent the Mac. Now he represents PC. So ever since
Wow.
Apple dropped this new chip called the M1, and it made their computers like crazy incredible. Like they're so powerful. Like they don't even need fans. They have like really good battery life. So what Intel did was they hired Justin Long to like do commercials in the same kind of style, but now instead of like toting how good the Mac is, he's now doing PC commercials. But
Wow.
like a lot
I
of the
can't believe
points
Apple ever let him go. Those fools. Those
Microsoft
fools.
just came in and then like offered him like probably a boatload of money to do these
The
commercials. He's
war
like,
for Justin Long. is not yet over.
Yeah.
Todd McFarlane's going to bring him in next for Dark Horse.
Yeah. I think we're still streaming, but I'm a little bit frozen. Oh well, let's talk about the next thing.
You look cold.
So the next kind
on.
of rivalry now that you see in like pop culture is electric versus gas cars, and you're kind of seeing this.
Electric cars are better. I don't give a shit. Electric cars won't pollute the atmosphere. Don't put carbon in the sky. Don't put carbon in the sky.
Yeah, so that's kind of the big thing now. Like a lot of people who are like kind of traditionalists, they'll like always be like. Some people are like kind of like gearheads, right? And they're like, oh, the gas engine's awesome. Like, look at Lambos and kind of all that stuff. But now, like, you can get pretty much that performance and like not pollute the sky using an electric car. So like, it's kind of pissing a lot of people off, especially those in like the oil industry. Those kind of people are getting really kind of ticked that there's like electric cars now.
Yes, we should certainly destroy our planet for the sake of their feelings and profits.
Personally, well, everyone knows I drive a Tesla, and I like that, but I still like like Lambos.
Not everyone.
Like,
Bill Burr probably doesn't know.
Well, anyone who listens to this podcast knows that I've got Teslas, but I like it because I'm one of those guys that is like I like minimalism. I like the design. Like the inside has like almost like no buttons. Like having a lot of buttons seems a lot of like busy to me, but I'm that kind of guy. Like, and I'm a huge tech guy, so like this thing is basically an iPad on wheels, so that's why I like it.
It's like Knight Rider, man. It's awesome. It's a very cool vehicle.
It's cool, and
electric
the performance
cars are the best. Yeah,
the performance is insane.
Yes, if you're a teenage boy, you should want to have like in your vehicle. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But if you're not, then
I still get the appeal of the gas cars.
A quieter car.
But
I'm sure you do.
I like the quiet cars. I find it so zen when you're driving. It's just like if you're driving, you have no engine noise, nothing's rumbling, and say you're like driving in the rain, and like all you hear is the raindrops as you're driving. It's pretty awesome. Like I think it is. That's just my opinion.
Falling on my Tesla. Yeah. I agree. It's like and all you have to do is press one button and it becomes a Tesla coil from Command and Conquer and it's chat. Zap your enemies. So it's wicked.
Like I say, they have some really wicked like gas cars. It just sucks that like they pollute so much and stuff like that.
Well, like yeah, we got the economy's got to be electrified via like nuclear power and other green energy sources, whatever green energy we can do. But I'm thinking nuclear makes the most sense right now. Have you heard of those small modular nuclear reactors? Listen, we're getting off topic. We're getting way up. We gotta continue with our rivalries.
I like where you're going with that. I'm kind of interested in what you're saying about the nuclear. What
no,
are these little nuclear?
No more.
Okay, we'll save that for another episode.
We've talked about this before, about the nuclear power and how the whole world needs to be more blah 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 blah. So let's go to the next thing.
All right, cool. So the next thing, Star Trek versus Star Wars. Which one are you, Mick?
5 reasons Star Wars is the best, and 5 reasons Star Trek is the best.
I
think that they're both enormous disappointments at this point.
Yeah, but like overall, or like in its like prime, which one do you feel is the best, Star Trek or Star Wars?
Ooh, at its absolute best.
I think you're a Star Wars guy. I would feel like. No, you're Star Trek. You're more Trekkie.
I think TNG at its best was the best show ever made.
Oh, what was
best
that
television show ever made?
Did I tell you about that one guy?
Best movie ever made, or the best actor.
Who's the one guy that was on like the Picard version of the show, like with the dude from Family Guy? You know that guy? He was like the captain or whatever.
The Orville? Are you talking about the Orville right now?
No. So it was Star Wars. There's this one guy. He wears the red, and then he's got like a beard, and it's like from the 90s. I forget what guy it is, but doesn't matter. You might remember. There's a guy. Whenever he sits down so weird. Like he just sits down.
You mean Riker?
I think it's Riker. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he does. He sits kind of funny. He sits over the chairs.
Yeah. So I got a story about that when I saw this online. So he sat like that in the beginning of whenever the first time he had to sit in Star Trek. He sat like that because he had a back problem, so he couldn't sit down normally. So he did that, and then when his back recovered, he just continued to do that. So that just became his thing. It's so funny. I thought that was a hilarious story, especially if you like. I don't know if I didn't watch Star Trek, but like if you watched it and then all of a sudden you know this one little thing, or you notice, I don't know if people have noticed that he sits weird. Have you noticed?
I mean, yeah, I've noticed, of course. That's
I
one of
just
Commander
found that
Riker's
so
sort of
hilarious, and I thought that's so
distinguishing features.
badass. It's like, yeah, it became one of his distinguishing features, but also it was like something that was wrong with him, but he made it a thing, right? It's like making like your weakness your strength, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was
It's
kind of
just so
that's kind
cool.
of
I know.
cool.
I
I
thought,
had no idea
yeah,
that was the case. Yeah,
I thought that was so cool.
yeah.
Uh, also, you're a Star Trek guy, eh?
Yeah, I'm more of a just a little bit. I mean, obviously, Empire Strikes Back is an
Live
unbelievably
cat.
good movie. Like,
You see the cat. Bye. Uh, sorry, I interrupted
is the
you.
cat coming back? Where is the cat? Bring her
He's
by.
chilling. Where is he?
Talk Star Wars
He
with the
makes his
cat.
appearance on some podcasts.
Yeah, no, no, no. So yeah, Empire Strikes Back, obviously unbelievably good. The original trilogy is great.
Hmm.
You know, at their
Mandalorian.
prime, Mandalorian's wicked, yeah. But at the same time, TNG Next Generation, like that show, how many like they had like more than 20 episodes in a season, and every one of them was a classic.
Yeah.
Like they made do with like minimal sets,
Is that
very
the one with
limited.
Riker?
Yeah, that's the one with Riker.
That's the
Yeah,
one I
yeah.
remember from like the 90s when I was a
That's
kid.
right. Yeah, I think
That
it's
yeah,
the
it's
best show ever
classic.
made.
Yeah, it's
I think it's
classic.
better than The Wire. I think it's better than everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I love the OG Star Wars. I absolutely love it. But no, man, Patrick Stewart,
Yeah,
Picard doing
Patrick
his
Stewart, that's
thing.
his name.
Like there's
Yeah,
nothing
that's a good
better.
one. Yeah, I
Nothing
gave it
better
to you
than
on that one. I like
sci-fi.
that. But I'm gonna say something very controversial. I'm like growing up, I've seen them, but I wasn't like huge into either one. So the thing I like is so there's Star Trek, Star Wars. For me, it was Stargate. That's the star thing that I love. Like I watched
Oh
every
yeah,
single Stargate.
Stargate was good.
I saw every show, every spin-off, every movie. I loved it. I was a full Stargate fan.
So you saw all the like with the guy with the weird thing on his head.
Yeah,
I see.
Teal'c.
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 Okay, his name's
Yeah,
Teal'c. Okay,
yeah. He had
cool.
like the thing. He had like one of the aliens inside his belly and stuff, and that's what gave him like super strength and stuff like that.
Oh, he had
Yeah,
super strength. I've seen
yeah. He
like
was
sort
really
of
strong.
episodes here and there.
I watched the
Okay.
movie that
Okay, so he was like
started it,
Worf.
right? Uh, and then it went into the SG-1 and all that, and even did Atlantis and like all these other different shows. That was my
Hmm.
Star Wars, Star Trek, Stargate. That I'm gonna start Stargatey.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I really loved the first Stargate movie. I thought it was
Yeah,
just awesome. Like
yeah,
the idea that ancient Egyptian culture still existed on some other
yeah,
planet. Like, oh, it's cool. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Uh, I
yeah.
like the idea of Earth as like a prison colony for other aliens and stuff.
Yeah,
They sent us here when there was dinosaurs.
yeah.
We outlasted them and took
It's
over the
funny.
planet.
I loved it for like the sci-fi ness of it, but it sounds like you're like I liked it because of the politicalness of the Egyptian aliens.
No, 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 no. I love the sci-fi stuff in it.
Yeah.
I love everything about it. Everything about it. I thought the
Have you
effects were
ever?
great. I thought the acting was great. I just like
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
have I ever
It's
what?
solid. Oh no, I was gonna say there's
Ask
this.
me your
It
question,
kind of
man.
reminds me of this other show they filmed in Vancouver. It's called Continuum. It's like about like time travel and stuff like that. But it's also about like politics and stuff like that. And my one friend, he's like, yeah, the politicalness of this one. I'm like, I like it because it's time travel.
I like both of those things, so maybe I'll check that show out.
Yeah, no, that's a good
Um,
show, and actually, it comes to an end and everything. Like, comes full
mhm.
circle. It actually comes full circle. It's awesome. It's good. I
Full
highly recommend that
circle.
one.
Okay, all right. Let's move to the next thing on the list, though, because the naturalness of our conversation is probably going to annoy our Twitch streamers who are unable to talk to one another in a
It's okay. They're
natural
playing
way.
Call of Duty right now.
Ah, yeah, I know.
All right. So the next thing on
I
the list,
mock our fans. I
this
mock
kind of
you,
goes back
fans. Give me
to
money.
video games and stuff. So it's Xbox versus PlayStation 5, or Xbox versus PlayStation in general. So this is kind of like the Sega Nintendo thing, but more modern
Xbox. Think
times.
you can tell
Oh
me what
yeah,
to do?
I think me and you both know the answer to this one for both of us.
I'm an
And
Xbox guy, but the Spider-Man,
oh yeah,
Spider-Man 4
okay,
PlayStation is
yeah,
pretty goddamn
I
good.
100% agree. So I'm an Xbox person too. Like I've had like every Xbox. I've had a few PlayStation. Actually, I've had PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and PlayStation 3. And the only PlayStation I didn't get was 4 or
I've
5.
had none of those, you
But
rich cunt.
but I want like I want to play Miles Morales because that game looks awesome. Because we're both like Marvel fans, Spider-Man fans, and apparently it's a really good game. And I'm thinking it's like, should
Miles
I?
Morales.
I was looking into it. It's like, should I get a PS5 and then play it? But like, I looked at, you can get a
Miles Aurora
PS4,
Borealis.
and the game looks almost exactly the same and plays the same. So I'm kind of contemplating, should I just get a used PS4? I think that would be kind of cool,
Yeah,
just to play this game.
PS More looks pretty good.
Imagine, oh, like,
Just to play
back in the
Spider
day when
Man.
you can go
Yeah,
rent a
I might get
console.
PS More just to play Spider Man.
Remember, you could rent a console, like you
I
go to
do. I
Blockbuster,
do remember
and
renting.
then
I
you can get it
rented
for the
my
weekend. That's what
Nintendo
I need right now.
64, and I played Star Fox. Oh, it was so
Oh
good.
yeah. Wait, you
And
rented
I
the
did
60?
not have so many concerns
You
about
never had a
becoming
64?
homeless. What?
You never
I
had a
I
64?
rented one first, and then I got one.
Yeah, I had one too. It was a good system. I had like, yeah, I had all the Nintendo systems except for like Super Nintendo, but I played that a lot with like my friends.
Nintendo systems.
So yes, Xbox all the way. I agree with you. But PlayStation 5 looks awesome too. But it's so big. Have you seen how big it is? It's like, it's giant.
I like that. That means it's got room to improve.
Or it's just big.
Come on, if it's big old, doesn't that mean that there's lots of little slots that you can like hook new things in, hook
No.
your brain
Like,
in?
remember the Nintendo 64 and it had that thing that was supposed to go on the bottom and it put like a
The
disc into it
balls,
and
the
it never came
testicles.
out. And then, so Nintendo 64 never used that bottom connector.
Yeah, that
They had
that
things
became a
planned, but they
PlayStation,
never
right?
used it.
Yeah, yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. And then, and then there was a change in heart at Nintendo headquarters.
They're like, nah, we're good. We'll just release the next one.
We'll just release Maximum Carnage. Okay. What's next? What's the next rivalry, Anthony? Let's
All right.
move.
So next rivalry is something kind of modern. So we're talking Disney Plus versus
Oh,
Netflix
what?
versus
Disney's already at Netflix level subscribers?
versus Amazon. So these for us up in Canada, those are kind of the big three players, right? So Netflix, Disney Plus, and Amazon. So out of these services, which ones do you have? I know you've got Disney Plus because we talk about Loki all the time. Do you have Netflix or? Oh no, you have Amazon too
I have
because
all three.
Invincible. You have all three? Okay, so as a person that has all three, which one's the best? Like, to you? Which you like out of this
Netflix.
Netflix?
Netflix is the
Well, because they're
only
the
like one that I wouldn't cancel once I've seen what I wanted to see.
yeah,
Having
because they're the
access to all the Marvel stuff is great, but I have a lot of those DVDs already, like
yeah.
that I bought back in the day
But
before Disney Plus
do you
came
have
out.
Loki on Blu-ray?
No, I don't. I don't have that
I
stuff.
don't think
Yeah.
they even made that.
So it's pretty must have Disney. Like Mandalorian's really really good. Disney Plus, okay, I gotta say for this last year maybe it's the more must have, but I'm never gonna miss Stranger Things. Stranger Things is awesome. Um, Although Netflix, yeah, they're not. I mean, they had Marco Polo. I can't believe they canceled Marco Polo. That was such an
Oh, I
amazing
never checked
show.
that out. Is that good?
Um, yeah, it was enough to keep me on Netflix for sure. Maybe Disney Plus. Now that I think of it, the Netflix had everything forever though, right? So it's like I don't know. Then again, I really like Carnival Row. I liked most of the stuff that Amazon has to offer.
Yeah, Amazon.
Um,
It's and especially lately, it's been getting
Especially
like pretty
Invincible.
good. Yeah, Invincible, um, Palm Springs with Andy Samberg. Have you seen that? That's great on there. There's a whole bunch of like
No.
awesome like original movies on there.
Ozarks. Ozarks is
That's
on
on Netflix.
Netflix, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, Netflix has a lot of really good stuff, man. Netflix has Breaking Bad right now. They
Oh
have, I
yeah,
think,
That's the thing that
where does
sucks.
Better Call Saul come out?
That's on like AMC. I think that's on
It's,
Crave in Canada.
but
Crave.
they have some Better Call Saul on Netflix because I
It's on
watched a bunch of it
Netflix.
on Netflix.
See,
Yeah,
the thing with Netflix is they take stuff away. They put stuff like you only get half of a season for some reason. Up here, at least in
I
Canada, I
know
know
it.
this.
I
And
know.
it
Yeah,
changes all the time. That's the thing that sucks about Amazon or Netflix the most. Where Disney Plus, it goes there and it stays there. And same with Amazon, I
yeah.
believe,
Disney's
because they own the stuff that they're
Disney.
putting there,
Once
right?
Disney takes you, you don't get away.
Yeah.
You're
And
theirs
well,
forever.
Disney is because like you get now it's just like you get Marvel show after Marvel show after Marvel. Like especially for us, we're like super into that. So
I love them
that's
though. I'm
amazing.
a fan of that genre, right? Like, it's a genre fan. It's
Or
not.
if you have
I'm not
kids,
a. Yeah, it's like some
That's
people who
the
will watch
best.
all kinds of horror movies, whether they're good or bad. That's how I feel about superhero stuff. Like I'm a genre fan. I watch all of it, no
Yeah.
matter whether it's good or bad. Um, and what superhero? What did you say? Sorry, Super Kids or something? Did you
No, I
say
said
something
if you have
about?
kids, Disney Plus is the best. Like
Yeah,
all the
yeah. You
kids
show them a
stuff they
lot of
want to
things.
watch. Yeah. Well, I guess I was gonna say you would know having like nieces and nephews, but they're all like super older now. Unlike mine.
Well, I have a lot of family of a lot of different ages. Yeah, so yeah, I know that the young kids, like my cousins have kids or whatever, and they're my age, and they've got like young kids that are like toddlers and stuff, and those kids love Disney Plus, right? They love all the
Yeah,
stuff
man.
on there because you get all those, you get like Lion King, and you get I
Yeah.
think Moana, you get
Yeah.
Moana with The Rock,
It's
and
The
you get
Rock.
Junk. You get all kinds of movies with The Rock, I think, on there on Disney Plus.
Yeah. You're gonna get that Jungle Cruise soon too with The
Yeah, I think
Rock.
so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Disney. I think Disney Plus is becoming. See, like they're catching up fast with like with their numbers. Let's see.
Yeah, man. They came out with a lot of like they came out swinging. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They
they're a
came out
juggernaut,
with
man.
must see show after must see show from Marvel. Like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and Loki. Bam, bam, bam. One,
Yeah.
two, three. That's
Honestly, you know what? I have so I
plus Mandalorian.
I have all three of those
That's a
services
four-hit
too,
combo nobody can match right
right?
now.
I have all three of those services right now, but lately it's been mostly Disney Plus, right? Just watching all the Marvel stuff. Like Netflix, sometimes like I guess a lot of people might see this where you just scrolling for like forever trying to find something to watch on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Unless you really know what you want to watch, it's just a lot of scrolling. I don't know if
Yeah,
you find that as a
Netflix used to for me Marco Polo, Altered Carbon, Stranger
Altered
Things.
Carbon, yeah,
These were really fantastic shows that should have continued and should have continued at a high quality, but they recast the guy in Altered Carbon, and Anthony Mackie was fine, but it just wasn't the same. Like it wasn't the same. And then Marco Polo, they freaking canceled it, and then like yeah, they still got Stranger Things, but who knows when the next season is going to come out. So it
yeah,
is, they've got that volume going on. They've got tons of volume, and
yeah.
honest to God, you can just click through Netflix and find little gems, right?
They'll give
So
anybody like a pretty much a show, like especially like a comedy special. They'll just give anybody. I bet you can get a show on Netflix. They're just giving people
I think it would
shows.
absolutely be fantastic to get a show on Netflix. Yeah, Netflix is the potential to be really, really awesome and has been
Yeah,
really awesome in the past. And I still think it's a must have for subscribing.
yeah.
Like,
No, I agree with you. Like as much as like I'm more into Disney Plus right now, Netflix is probably if I had to cancel. I don't know, man. It's hard if I had to cancel, but if I had to cancel, it'd probably just Amazon. But I'm gonna keep Amazon because I use Amazon shipping. So, so they're all hard.
yeah,
They
yeah,
all have
yeah.
very good value props.
Man, Amazon has some really good shows. Man, keep hearing something fucking going on out there. Anyway, American Gods is a really great show. Carnival Row, really great show. Invincible, great show. I think they've got both Walking Dead's
Oh, do they?
on Amazon. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Robert Kirkman did Invincible, and I know they've got Fear the Walking Dead on Amazon. So I imagine they have the other Walking Dead. I don't know for sure, but um, they've got a lot of really good stuff on there, man. All three of those streaming services have had reasons to keep and buy them. So
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, because you can tell we have all three of those, right? So they all have
yeah,
something really good to offer. Because I wouldn't pay for it if I didn't get some value out of it. Like,
I
what's some
think
other streaming services we have out here? We have Crave, which is basically Canadian HBO. I tried that one time. I basically just got it to watch Silicon Valley, and then when I was done with it, I just like canceled it.
I have Crave. I
Oh,
have
do you
Crave
have
as
that too?
well.
What
Yeah.
else do you have? You have like everything.
Yeah, when it comes
Do
to TV stuff, I like to be able to watch
yeah.
just about whatever is out there.
What other ones are
Um,
there? Like, what else do you have?
that's all. That's it.
Yeah, Crave. Yeah, I think
Um,
those are the big four in
I,
Canada,
I have
right?
I have those four. Yeah.
In America, they even
Um,
have more. They have like Paramount Plus and like Hulu and other
yeah.
kind of stuff like that. They have AMC, HBO. It's get crazy. It's like now there's so many subscription services. People just
I
don't want to
know.
pay for them anymore. Like it's like we cut the cord from cable. Now subscribe to 10 different things.
Yeah. I don't know if it's better, but I do know that
It's a bit better, I
It's
think.
definitely more on demand. It's definitely more in your like you have the ability to sort of make a choice out of available options rather than sort of limited options being presented as whatever the station is able to produce,
Yeah.
and sort of hoping it's good. But
Yeah, and now there's so
um,
many more shows on TV because like before when it was cable, it's like in the '90s, there's only 10 shows, so everyone knows everything. Now there's like
yeah.
hundreds and thousands of shows. Like you just mentioned some shows that I've never even heard of.
Well, you have to wonder though if having um, lots and lots of people see the same shows is good for social harmony, and that when everybody's watching something different, people don't really communicate with one another on the same level anymore.
Yeah, now it's like,
Um,
what show do you watch? You're like, you name a show, and it's like, I've never heard of that one. I'm gonna stab you.
yeah, yeah, that's exactly how it goes. You've been watching the new Ren and Stimpy. Well, prepare to die. Um, you know, so that's that. Yeah, that is life now. That is the barbarity
Yeah,
of modernity.
but it's so much cheaper, man. It's like what, $40, and you got everything still. Like you got Netflix, you got Disney Plus, and Amazon,
The
like
horror.
plus like 1 day shipping.
Meanwhile, in North Korea,
Yeah,
um, anyway, yeah. So those those are the many options that we have. So yeah, I like them all. I guess Disney Plus. You have to give it to them in terms of the year they've had.
yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure. Well, the
yeah,
pandemic helped it
it's
too,
God.
and
It's
all
just
this.
undeniable. Like WandaVision alone, and then Loki, and
Yeah,
then
if you said give me $10 a month and all I'm gonna give you is like the Marvel TV shows, I'd be like, here you go, right?
plus Mandalorian. Like,
Yeah,
damn.
plus
I still
Mando.
think like Netflix is that number two spot. Even though Amazon has a lot of good stuff, I think Netflix just it's just waffling right now. But it's on. It's it's still right near the top. Anyway,
Yeah.
one of the
All
top
right.
two. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the top three. Yeah, I like all of them too. I don't know, like, yeah,
I like being
Disney,
able to
Disney on
watch
top.
old Game of Thrones and stuff on
Right
HBO.
now,
Like I like
Disney, Netflix, Amazon. That's the ranking.
seems to be. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, so I guess we'll move on to the next thing. Next thing is Burger King versus McDonald's. That's kind of the Burger Wars rivalry.
I don't think that.
And so basically, by the numbers, McDonald's just crushes Burger King.
Yeah, I don't think is Burger King even number two.
This is not even close, as in 18 times more.
Yeah, yeah. McDonald's is.
Yeah, McDonald's was
Okay,
this. Uh,
Starbucks is on. Yeah, okay,
yeah,
and then
McDonald's
KFC,
number
and then
one,
Subway,
Starbucks number
Domino's,
two,
Pizza Hut.
KFC, Subway, Burger King at number seven. So McDonald's makes
Yeah, McDonald's is.
130.4 billion. That's wait, actually that's their by brand value.
That is an unbelievably high number.
And you got number 10 there, Taco Bell.
Yeah, so Burger King is not number two.
But okay,
So
for me though, I would say no, sorry, Burger King. Over McDonald's actually. Yeah, I'm not a huge. Well, I like the fries at McDonald's and stuff, but none of the burgers.
I go with McDonald's cheeseburger over all.
Or so like, let's break it down this way. Go Whopper versus Big Mac. What are you picking?
Big Mac.
Big
I
Mac.
prefer McDonald's. Yeah, I prefer McDonald's.
I like the
I don't really
Whopper.
like much out of Burger King. I got to be
Oh
honest.
man, have you ever had the onion rings? I love the onion rings at Burger King. Those are so good, and they have like a zesty sauce. It's
Do
like
they? I haven't had those. I don't think.
it's
I do
it's
like onion rings though.
yeah, they're not like onions where they cut them up and they have the circles. They actually ground it and they shape it into an onion and then they fry it. But it's good. You gotta try it, man. Highly recommend. I like those ones.
I will. I will try this, and I will probably enjoy it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Next thing, Starbucks versus Dunkin' Donuts, and then since we're in Canada, we're gonna throw in Tim Hortons in there. What's your
Okay,
feelings on these
so
guys?
Tim Hortons overall three.
Yeah.
It's just Tim's is there. Tim's is always right there.
Yeah. No.
Uh,
Yeah.
Starbucks
Exactly.
makes. I prefer Starbucks coffee. I think it's got better
Yeah.
coffee.
Have you?
I think
So
Dunkin' Donuts is an easy third here.
yeah, we don't have
Um,
Dunkin' Donuts in Canada,
but
right?
but you don't buy food from Starbucks, and yeah, I buy food from Tim's. I mean, judge me if you want,
Oh
but I
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
I think everybody does ish.
Yeah, I have too. Like I've had all of these. Like I travel the states a lot, so I've had a lot of Dunkin' Donuts. I usually get Starbucks when I do get coffee. I'll get occasional Tim Hortons. Yeah, for me Tim Hortons on the bottom. Yeah, it's like, but it's the easiest thing to get, right? Like like we've talked about before, there's two Tim Hortons like right beside each other on Upper James.
No.
Starbucks has really good coffee. I get food there. Like you can get food at
Mm,
Starbucks, but it is much more expensive than like Tim Hortons, where you can go get like whatever for like $2 or a donut
yeah,
for like 90
Tim's
cents.
legit fast food restaurant plus bakery
It's
plus
cheap,
coffee.
cheap and convenient. That's the
Yeah,
Tim's kind of appeal, and it's Canada's coffee
it's
place,
our
right?
thing, man.
So like it's kind of like civic pride, right? And for a lot of people, it's just habit, right? The cheap, easy thing becomes your habit, and it becomes like your best thing, but it's not really.
I mean, the quality of the coffee at Starbucks, I think, is probably like a lot better. But I mean, whatever. I don't know.
Oh
Tim's
man,
is fine. Tim's is
I like
good.
it's like so I used to drink a lot of like instant coffee, and then I drank like freshly ground and stuff. It's like after a while I had the grounds, and then I tried to switch back to instant, and like the instant did not compare. Like just you can tell the quality for whatever like it's like the taste and stuff, right? And
Nothing
and that's what
compares.
I don't like about Tim Hortons. The taste is very inconsistent. Sometimes it tastes like sour and bitter, and then sometimes it tastes fine.
Yeah, yeah,
If you
I
want,
guess.
so this is if you want old Tim Hortons coffee. I think what is it? You go to McDonald. No,
Old. You have
no,
to leave it
McDonald's
out
is
for
better
five
coffee.
days, and then it's old by
Yeah, I heard
our
that like
standards.
Burger King coffee or Burger King bought Tim Hortons or something like that, and they changed the coffees. Apparently, it used
Thought
to be good.
Brazil bought it. Thought it was
Who?
Bolsonaro.
Okay, I don't know. These are just the rumors
Bolsonaro.
in the rumor mill.
Um, I don't know, man. I don't know who bought it. Somebody bought Tim
Yeah,
Hortons. I think it was somebody from Brazil, maybe the people who own Burger King. I have
it's
no
just like
idea.
that one rumor where the company that provides McDonald's with beef is called 100% beef, but the beef is not. That's just the company name, so they can
Isn't
say
that isn't that
made
is that a
with
rumor or
100%.
not a rumor?
No, see, I don't know. That's like the rumor. So you know how they
Rumor
say
has
it's 100% beef. It's like it is
rumor
100% beef
has it.
because that's the name of the company.
Rumor has
I
it
cannot
you ain't
confirm or deny that,
represent
but
beef
that's what the
anymore.
rumor mill is spinning around.
Well, that's some fucked up shit if that's the truth, and if that's not the truth, that's a hilarious rumor. Um, I would believe both pretty easily. Next, what's the next one?
Okay, so we're going back to the 90s. So now we're talking Reebok versus Nike. So this is like when
Ooh.
at the height of the sneaker wars. So we had Nike, Reebok, and even Adidas and Converse. But I think in the 90s it was mainly Nike versus Reebok in the sneaker wars, and both of them had like killer sneakers. So like Nike has like your Air Force Ones, your Dunks. Reebok. So their most popular shoe is actually the Pump. Do you remember the Pump? You had the
Mm,
sneakers here that you pump up and you fill them up
mhm.
with air so
I
they get
had
nice and
those.
tight.
Yeah.
So actually, I've got. We can look at the top Nike and the top Reebok shoes. So number one for Reebok is the Pump. I remember those. I think I had a pair as a kid.
I think I
And
did too.
then
Yeah.
that's number one. Then you had like the Reebok Shack Attack, the Reebok Insta Pump Fury, Reebok Workout Plus. Like for me, I'm kind of a sneaker guy, so I remember all of these. The Reebok Club Champion. Do you know any of these sneakers?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
the
Yeah. They're all
Reebok
my best
Aztec. Like
friends.
these are like kind of I remember this the Iverson. They had the Reebok Answer. Yeah. So these are kind of classic. There's the
The
pump again.
answer.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, I remember a lot of these. So
Exo Fit.
in
Reebok.
the
Yeah.
Reebok's like heyday, like they were like killing it, smashing it, and really like competing against Nike. So here's Nike's like their top 15 sneakers or whatever. So we got the Jordan 1s, Retro High, Nike Air Force 1s, classic. Like these are all classic. Nike Air Max 1s. This is probably my favorite Nike sneaker, the Air Max 90. I still wear these shoes today. Like I had them as a kid, and as an adult, I still buy these. These are like the most comfortable, like awesome sneaker. I love them. Air Max 90s. Like all the colorways. And the thing about Nike is they make all their old stuff still today. Like this shoe came out in like 1990, and they still make it in 2021. That's like insane.
I believe you. I believe you.
It's like
Um,
it was like basically a shoe that has existed my entire life.
do their workers get paid more than they used to when we were kids?
I don't know, but I would like to hope so.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah,
Um,
you
Nike.
see, you're that guy. You're like it's like these awesome shoes. Like those people who make them, like you care for these people. That's awesome. I like that.
Well, I
You
just think
think
it
see
matters.
this? That's the thing I always mention about you. You always think of the
It
things I
matters at
don't.
least enough to just mention it.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree. Uh,
Yeah, you think of the things I don't do.
no,
I wouldn't
yeah,
think of.
yeah. That's why we bounce off each other well. But yeah, so other sneakers, Air Max 95,
uh,
97s. There's Dunks I was talking about. Blazers, see, all classic. Oh, these are probably my favorite ones that Nike makes, the Nike Air Mags. These are the
the
shoes
Air
from Back to the
Mags.
Future too.
These will fly you to the moon and let you play among the stars.
Nike's actually made these and they sold them in an auction to help like Parkinson's with Michael J.
Oh, good for
Fox.
them.
Yeah. So like these are super rare. They're like if you can find them, they're like super super expensive. But those are
$28,000. Is that what that says?
yeah,
Holy
28.
mother of
And
pearl!
that's probably like the average what they went for. Like they sold them on eBay and stuff.
Wow.
So for me, like I say, Nike has more iconic shoes than Reebok. So for me, I'm gonna say Nike for sure. Oh, and the Yeezys. They make Yeezys.
Wow.
How about yourself?
Um, I guess. I guess as far as I can tell, Nike won the war.
Yeah. Well, if
So
you look today, it's like who's selling more sneakers? It's obviously Nike, right?
I think as a kid, I was a Reebok kid.
Yeah, I've
'Cause
had both. As a
I
kid, I
did the
had
pumps.
both.
I like the pumps.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
pumps and all the other ones, but I think I've owned more Nike sneakers because I think they were more easily available, and I guess they're just cooler, right? And I've worn like pretty much all of the top 15 Nike sneakers. But I'm a kind of
Cool.
a bit of a sneaker dude.
You are a sneaker dude. You're
Yeah.
sneaky
Oh,
dude.
and my favorite current kind of like sneaker is the Adidas NMD R1s. So those are super super
Adidas.
comfortable.
Yeah,
Super
that was
comfortable.
nice. I know that John Jones, the MMA fighter, was sponsored by some kind of sneaker company. Oh, I think Reebok. Oh, Reebok did a deal with the UFC that kind of screwed over the UFC fighters, I think. Um, yeah, I heard about that. The Reebok deal. That's an MMA thing. Anyway, yeah, when I was a kid, I was a Reebok guy. I guess now maybe I'm a Nike guy. I don't know. I don't really. I'm not as much of a sneaker guy as you,
Yeah.
so I can't give
Yeah. But I think
as much of a say. But I do remember those pumps quite well. Quite
yeah,
well.
those are their most iconic uh, shoe probably in terms of like mind share. The
Yeah,
pump.
man.
Yeah,
Those are the shoes Jesus wore when he was crucified.
Can you imagine? we're going into that territory. I think we should move
All right,
away.
no. Are we moving? So Christianity versus Islam next? Is that what we're doing? Or
Oh my god! I was.
no?
We're gonna do Eastern versus Western philosophers.
All
I could
right,
actually
what's
talk about
next?
that,
What's
but
next?
that's not in
Yeah,
pop culture.
we could have a little
Yeah,
chat about it.
yeah, they had some great kind of like points back and forth. Um, it's funny. One of the things I saw was that you ever heard of the epic rap battles of history? There's these guys that do these
Oh
rap
yeah,
battles, and they do them from different points of view. So they'll do like Nikola Tesla versus Edison, and they'll kind of like have two guys rap. They have one. It's Eastern
yeah.
versus Western philosophers. So they have like a whole bunch of guys
Oh,
dressed up as the different philosophers rapping at each other. It's so funny. And then they had like
cool.
Ninja Turtles versus Ghostbusters. It's good. If you haven't seen this,
Did
you
they
gotta
do
check it
Turtles
out.
versus Ghostbusters? I'll have to watch that. I remember
Yeah,
that quite
yeah,
well as a kid.
yeah. It's so good. Yeah,
Ghostbusters
check that out.
was my
Epic Rap
jam.
Battles of History. That's a plug for them there.
Yeah,
Shout out to
yeah,
them.
word.
But
Yeah.
let's move into this is I don't know. This is one of our other rivalries. This is probably one that you can probably speak on a lot of. Biggie versus Tupac. East Coast
Oh,
versus West Coast
oh.
rappers. I know you've got lots to say on that one. I think I know what side you kind of lean on because you quote him all the time. Biggie. What's that one line you say? Something
I
about
mean,
Dylan?
okay, when it comes to just my own personal taste, yeah, Biggie.
Yeah.
But when it comes to
I'm
who
with
I
you there
think is
too.
better, I think they're pretty equal.
Yeah,
I
I'm with
think
you too.
Tupac has a lot, like his catalog is
Yeah,
way
he's got
bigger.
hits.
He's got hits. He's got a lot of hits, more hits than Biggie, and he's got just a lot more albums. He worked a lot and he did a lot of stuff. So
Yeah, and then he's
like
got those
like
songs that they're still coming out.
yeah, that's right. That's
My
right.
favorite
There's,
song that he just released was uh it was that song from 94. Remember Dave
That was a
Chappelle?
Chappelle Show sketch
Yeah,
from
yeah,
like
that's not
20
a
years
real.
ago.
Yeah, I love that. Oh, I love that. Like all the
Yeah,
rumors, people are like, oh, they're living together on this
yeah.
island. They're not dead.
I hope
You
they
hear those
are.
kind of
I hope
crazy
they are.
conspiracy theories? They're all just laughing at us. Yeah, no, but me, I'm a Biggie guy too. Like I love and respect Tupac as well, but I grew up on East Coast rap, so you're Jay Z, like
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Biggie, all that. Like,
Although, no, man, I grew up. My favorite rap album is Chronic 2000. It's the
oh,
Dre album,
2001. That's a 20.
2001.
Yeah, that's a 20-year-old album now. That's
It's
crazy
Chronic
to think, eh?
2001. Like, yeah, man. Like
Yeah, Chronic
I
2001.
just
That. Oh
remember. I
yeah,
just remember that coming out. Like, um, uh, I don't know. Like, it was a fucking crazy album. Everybody had it. We listened to it all the
yeah.
time. It
That
was
thing. Yeah, that thing
savage.
went like platinum in like a
Savage.
weekend.
Ugh.
Remember when you could go to the record store and you'd pick up stuff?
Yeah, I bought it. It was like listening to those lyrics now, it's vicious, but it at the time it was really something special. And so the original Chronic too, like the Snoop Dre sort of team up, their two albums together.
Yeah.
I guess 2001 doesn't count as the 90s, right? So,
Well,
but I'm just
you
saying
can.
like
Yeah. Well, it's
yeah,
their
but like Snoop and
era.
Dre were in the 90s, and like I like Blackstreet, I like No
Yeah.
Diggity,
Oh yeah. Teddy
I liked a
Riley.
lot of that stuff, right? I like Big Punisher. I liked a lot
Oh,
of
Big Pun.
rappers
Man,
from that
you
era.
just mentioned things. I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah, Wu Tang
yeah. No,
obviously,
but
and
2001,
everybody. Like,
I guess counts if you're just looking at East Coast versus West Coast in general. But if we're talking about Biggie and Tupac, that's just past them, right?
yeah, yeah, like yeah, Biggie's albums are perfect. Like they're refined.
Yeah.
They're comets shining across the night sky.
Yeah.
Whereas Tupac's albums are the stars in the sky. They're everywhere and they're
Oh, look at that. Oh
gorgeous.
man, look at that.
You know, like
Coming out with the similes and stuff like that.
I'm just saying, like
It's
he's
poetic.
everywhere. He's everywhere. He's the weight of his catalog is really
Yeah.
really tough to
Yeah,
argue
one of my
against or compete
favorites
with.
growing up was that Life After Death album, that the double CD. That one was good.
That's
That's the one that had like Mo Money, Mo Problems.
that's Biggie. Yeah,
That one with R. Kelly.
that's one
I'm
of his
doing you
only T
tonight.
albums. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
You
that
must
was a good
be
one.
used to me spending and all
Yeah.
that sweet whining and
Oh, and
dining. Well, I'm
going
fucking
back to
you
Cali.
tonight, girl.
Going back
Back,
to
back
Cali.
to Cal.
Oh,
Going
Kick
back
in the
to
Door? No, that
Cali.
wasn't. Kick in the Door was on
Can't remember which one
Life
that was.
Before Death, or what was that name of the
Uh,
album? Born to Die,
ready?
I think. Ready to
No,
Die.
it was like Ready to Die, and
Yeah.
Life After
Oh,
Death.
I
Yeah,
love the Kick in the Door.
people,
That's a classic.
yeah,
Oh, and then it had
uh,
the
Party
other
and
one.
Bullshit, fucking
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Juicy, obviously.
Yeah,
Like,
all those albums are good, man. Like,
yeah, um,
so
and
I
but
guess we're in agreement. You can't really pick. It's like,
yeah.
why did this war even like happen? It's like they were both just so good. They should just came
They were
together and
both
should.
unbelievably good. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it was for
they
the
made maybe
like.
they made each other better by competing. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but I
Maybe
think
things wouldn't have
like
been as good if
nowadays,
they.
like remember like the Jay Z Nas beef. That was more for like our entertainment than an actual beef.
Well, it was still a beef though. They said some pretty awful
Yeah.
shit to each other, and they tried to humiliate each other in public, and did a couple of times. You know.
But oh, that's another. I guess it's a rap beef versus
Yeah.
rather
Do you
than.
remember that? Do you remember when he was like, "All I really know is your hoe wants to be with me, and she ain't playing." Hear what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, do you remember the Jay Z Oasis beef? And then Jay Z's like, "Today is gonna do it. Day, wanna throw it back to you." He did that in a song. Oh man, yeah,
that's
that's
funny.
another rivalry. We could just go forever on these like I guess it's music beefs
Music
than
beefs, yeah,
than
yeah.
pop
Eminem and
culture
Ja
rivalries.
Rule.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love Ja
That
Rule. I
one
don't
got
know. I
rough.
was like, they shouldn't have took him out. He was so he made hits, man. I still listen to Ja Rule in my car.
Yeah, he had some good stuff, but
Holla,
Eminem was a
holla.
lot better.
Yeah.
50 Cent and Ja Rule, like, yeah, there was the Game and 50 Cent, the Game and who was the Game in there against? He's had a bunch of different rivalries too.
Yeah. I think we can make a whole episode just like on rap beefs.
Just talking rap beefs. Yeah, yeah. There's been a lot of really interesting stuff over the years in rap music, man. That's the stakes are high in rap. I think life is a little bit more severe, or at least it has been in the past.
Now you got like a lot more white rappers, and they're just
Little Dicky and so on.
yeah, they're just more comical and chill. You don't see Lil Dicky trying to like
Biggie was really funny
beef
too,
with
though.
Asher Roth or anything, or Young Gravy. Young Gravy.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess I don't know.
I
There
think
are some guys out there who beef with there are some guys out there who beef with each other though, and they're like the game is still, I think, at large. You know what I mean? Like people like that, you don't fuck with guys like that, and people do though. They test them. People still come up and try to test people like the game and shit like that.
Yeah.
And
I think we should have a like a music or at least like a rap episode or something. We could talk about the new versus old school rappers.
yeah, we could. Yeah, Kanye's still okay. Okay, we've gone way off topic.
I know we have.
So we both.
Let me ask you
prefer
one
Biggie,
question.
But
I'll ask you one question.
Deeply, deeply respect Tupac. Yeah.
Yeah, I respect both of them too. I'll ask you one last question about music, and then we'll move on to the last rivalry, which I think we might go on. But last question about the music. So new school rappers, who are you into? Or do you not listen to any new school rappers?
I mean, it's for I don't sit down and listen to whole albums as much anymore.
Yeah. Oh, I don't.
Is Talib Kweli? Does he count as new? Or he's been around
No,
for a
he's
while,
like from like the Kanye era, like the old Kanye era, and new Kanye.
Yeah, he's been around for a long time.
Is that your newest rapper? Talib Kweli?
It's been a while.
Oh man.
Yeah, I kind of fell off I don't listen as much as I used to. I don't pay as much attention to the new. Like if Kanye drops a new album, I'll pick it up, or Eminem or any of those guys. But
so I mentioned Young Gravy. I bet you never heard of him.
No, I don't know Young Gravy.
Because if Talib Kweli is your most recent rapper, then
all right, shut up.
No, okay, I'm just joking. But no, check out Young Gravy. He's pretty good.
Yeah, all right,
and also BB No Money. He's pretty good too. Like
BB No Money. Okay.
And it turns out they're both white.
Well, Little Dicky is newer than.
Yeah, Little Dicky. Yeah. You actually introduced me to Little Dicky in like the music, not in person.
I like Little Dicky. Oh, Sunreal. I like Sunreal. Do you know him?
No, Sunreal.
You don't know Sunreal?
I might know a song if you play one.
Oh man, he's got one called "I Am the Man" and he's dancing around in court. Sunreal's awesome.
Okay,
he's pretty new. He's not that new. He's like 10 years old, so he's not that new. But
I think Little Dicky might be your newest.
Yeah, Sunreal's awesome though. I don't know. Do you know Chromeo? They're not rappers really.
Oh, I know Chromeo. Yeah, they're like an indie band. I get jealous. Right? Awesome. That's what they sing, right?
Well, I guess indie's cool, but
yo, indie, I love indie
I get
rock.
Jealous.
Yo,
I'm too cool to admit it. I ain't with it.
Yeah, no, I like Chromeo. Chromeo's cool. Yeah, I'm really into like the indie rock stuff, indie rock, indie pop.
I like some indie rock.
That's funny.
Well,
what's your newest rapper? Chromeo.
Indie rock. Fair.
I think you fell off the rap train, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
All right.
I used to listen to. Yeah, I used to pick up new albums and stuff all the time.
Man, every Tuesday used to be the record day, right? I would go down to the spot every Tuesday, see what's new, and I would buy. That's where I used to spend all my money buying the newest, whatever, pop, rock,
me and
rap.
comic books and yeah, like Wu-Tang CDs and stuff like that. Yeah. And tapes. Oh, man. Weird Al tapes too.
Right, everybody stay tuned. We're gonna do a music episode. We'll just we'll just be us for an hour and a half reminiscing,
talking about music.
All right, let's move on to the last rivalry in pop culture. This goes from back in the day in the 90s till today, from comic books to movies. Marvel versus DC. That's probably one of the craziest rivalries. So like,
this is a storied corporate rivalry. This is got to be the longest running corporate rivalry, other than maybe like the Dutch East India Company versus the British East India Company or whatever, right?
Yeah, they're always trying to outdo each other, but then also they copying each other like along the way, like Like they
Yeah,
have their
at this
equivalents.
point, they have equivalent characters of everyone in each other's
And
universes.
they kind of make fun of each other too. So it's like we have Slade
Yeah,
Wilson. Oh yeah, we got Wade Wilson.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's like a parody of a parody of a copied parody.
Yeah.
Like that's what they end up,
Even in
and
like
then that guy becomes the more
DC,
popular guy. Like,
they like copy themselves. Like in the Suicide Squad, the latest one, they had instead of dead shot, they had blood sport. He was pretty much the same guy
Bloodsport, yeah,
with the same
yeah,
backstory.
yeah, and he had the same exact backstory as the Peacemaker, right?
Yeah.
So a
Oh
lot of them
yeah.
have those backstories. Yeah,
One thing I'll mention about Suicide Squad too,
yeah.
I liked how they even made fun of themselves for that. It's like they had Bloodsport, which is exactly Deadshot, but
Deadshot, yeah.
then when Peacemaker got introduced to Bloodsport, they're like, we already have a guy like this. They're like kind of the same guy.
Yeah. He's like, Dad taught him since he was a baby to shoot whatever. Yeah. They did that well. That was a
Yeah,
cute little intro
yeah,
sequence
they're doing it
for
to
those two
themselves.
characters.
But yeah, back to
Yeah.
Marvel and DC, like they like just like copy each other all the time, and like they're like
Yeah.
even
Sue
recently,
each
like
other and like
yeah,
they like people are like I like they must DC's going to sue them for this or the Marvel's going to sue them for that, and I'm pretty sure they're always suing each other. They're suing each other. The individual writers are suing each other. Like everybody's suing everybody. it's like
yeah.
a it's like a very litigious sort of culture, I think, comic book
But do
literary
they do that
culture.
anymore? Like, because like it's like they had all of
I
that
don't
stuff in
know.
the past. I don't think they do it anymore, right? It's like it's all kind of it's
I
like
don't know.
okay,
I bet you they sue each other all the time. I heard
behind closed doors.
yeah. Todd McFarlane just got out of a lawsuit with Grant Morrison. I know that's Image Comics, but like the I don't know. Like if you watched Invincible, for example, they've got a. I mean, I'm sure Image Comics or whoever made Invincible was sued by DC, right? For using all those characters that looked exactly like the goddamn Justice League. But
Oh
I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe they weren't. But Teen Titans, for example, had a scene with a Spider-Man character in it.
Oh really?
Yeah. He was almost exactly Spider-Man. I think he even had the same voice actor from Spectacular Spider-Man, and he had the same Spider-Man powers, but he was
Oh
a
wow,
villain
I
and he
haven't
got
seen that one.
beaten up by the Archers. Yeah. And I'm sure they got sued over it. I think they sue each other all the time. I think that they hire the same law firms and like switch back and forth and stuff like that. It's a really crazy like money making tornado, that whole industry.
That's crazy. Like I didn't know especially that Spider-Man thing in like Teen Titans. That's crazy. I didn't know that one.
Yeah, man, they're all up in each other's grills, and like they're like, yeah,
Yeah.
you think you got legal muscle? We got legal muscle, and they
Yeah, like even more recent times, like they even copied each other in like their universes. Like it's like you got a team up movie, we got a team up movie, like
yeah, exactly, yeah.
and like it's like you
Um,
not so I see like they did Marvel was the first like movie universe, and then DC jumped on the train as well, right? So
yeah, but
then
DC had
Marvel,
had a shared universe on TV first. They had
yeah, yes, that's what I was
the
leading
Batman
towards.
Superman. Yeah,
So yeah,
sorry,
DC
I should
had
have
a
interrupted. Should not have
no,
interrupted.
it's all good. DC had the TV universe first, right? Like I think they had the Flash, Supergirl, whatever. Like Marvel is just getting into like the TV universe. But lately, like the DC universe was great. The TV universe was great. Like I watched Green Arrow, I watched The Flash. Like all that stuff was amazing. But more in
Mm.
recent times, it's kind of gone downhill. But then at the same time, Marvel's TV universe is really taking off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it has. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. DC. I think it's no contest right now. Marvel's beating them.
Yeah, no, yeah, especially in like before, I would say DC's TV is better than Marvel TV because at the time it was like Agents of Shield and like they weren't like the best,
But
and
I'm sure I've
and then
said
you
it
had the
before.
Netflix Marvel stuff, but they were good, but not like like Iron Fist was good, but not great. Like they had what was the street
Oh
level
yeah,
team? They had like the Defenders.
Punishers, Defenders,
Yeah, right. Like it was good, but it wasn't great. Now it's
Defenders. Yeah,
like great, and then and like you would say DC's was great before. Now it's kind of like gone in the opposite direction. So Marvel has really taken it's like whatever DC does now. Like in their universe, they just kind of take off. Like I say right now, Marvel's just killing it in
yeah,
general. So like it's kind of no
yeah,
contest in that sense.
yeah. It's unfortunate, but right now
And it
that's
sucks
the way it
because
is.
DC has
Uh,
a great stable of heroes and all these people, right?
Yep. Yeah, they do. They do.
Like they
Green
have
Lantern's my
Batman and
favorite.
Superman. Like if you back in the day, you would say who's the most popular heroes. You would say Batman, Superman, and then like Spider-Man, right? Those would be your top three. It's like you have
Wolverine.
Batman, Superman. Now you're like, yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. It's things have really changed.
it's
Things have
cat and
really, really
mouse.
changed. Cat and mouse.
But I'm always hoping that like I've been saying this lately, like Flashpoint maybe it will fix everything. You know, like in because they're doing the Michael Keaton and Ezra Miller, and then even Ben Affleck's in that movie, and then because Flashpoint basically in the comics kind of reset a lot and fixed things that they kind of screwed up before, right? So this is their chance
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
fix things
But
in the universe they
I've
don't
got
like.
some. I have a little bit of work stuff coming up that I gotta kind of do. So I think we've gone over an hour, haven't we?
Yeah, we're at an hour 20.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
let's wrap. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, let's wrap it up. I just want to mention the EWM merch store. We launched that last week. If you didn't see it, we have some cool merch. We got some shirts, got some mugs, stickers. Actually, there's 15% off in the store right now. You can see I've been drinking from a EWM podcast mug the whole episode. It's good stuff. So check that out. You can get links to that all on everythingwithmillennials.com, our new website. Check it out. You can watch all our
Check it out.
yeah, check
Check
it
it
out. We
out.
can
Give us
watch
some
all
money. Give us your money. Give us all your money. Give it to us. Give it
yeah.
to
You can
us.
watch
Throw it
all
in the
the
air. Bake it in a pie. Send it my way.
yeah. Send it that way. Everything's on there. Like you can watch all the videos, all and the links to everything now. So basically, when I tell you about stuff, I'll just send you to everythingwithmillennials.com. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in this week. If you're looking for anything from the show, I've got all show notes and time codes to jump around on all platforms, and you can find everything on everythingwithmillennials.com. All the links to everything's there. Remember to like and follow us on everything if you can. That really helps the show a lot. I'm Anthony Element on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. And we got this guy, Nick Martin. We gonna find you someday?
What guy? No.
All right. We'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in. Bye, guys.
Okay, I'm gonna go, man. I gotta call this guy back. Okay.
Okay.